Let's see it.
All right, let's do it to it.
Oh, I can pull up. Stand down.
Where are you going with these snakes?
Yeah, I'm out.
On a Rock or Something, episode 3.
This is Alex Trejo. He's a movie star. Danny Trejo.
It's my uncle.
Danny Trejo. He's a movie star.
He makes tacos
He's been in lots of movies.
and donuts.
Okay, no, this is Alex Trejo. And what company are you with?
SoCal Rattlesnake Removal.
So, is it stupid to ask what you do?
Yes.
Okay.
So what do you do?
Because this is
That's
the
a
end.
great question. Thank you for asking. I catch and release rattlesnakes humanely, so no killing. And
Well, the first question everybody's going to ask, why?
Why? That's, yeah.
because I'm crazy.
Well, it has nothing to do with it. I mean,
It does a little bit.
it seems like the easier way is to just kill it. And then it's easier to remove, because then you can deal with it from a distance. And then when it can't bite you anymore, then you dispose of it.
Yeah, I mean, in a sense, it's a less effort way. You're just there chopping head off. End of day. But whenever you're dealing with a snake and you have to actually grab it, not hurt the snake, get it in a bucket, then transport it, and then release it, it's just a lot more energy. So you really have to not only appreciate wildlife, but almost have like a calling towards like conservation to really go that extra step to make sure that.
So you're like the Theodore Roosevelt of rattlesnakes.
Steve Irwin. I like that.
So in like middle
That's
school,
not a good comparison. You don't want to be like Steve.
Yes, I do.
Do you know what happened to Steve?
I do.
Okay.
But he was a good guy.
All right.
His motives were
Agreed.
pure.
Crikey.
Crikey.
So in middle school, your teacher's like, "Hey, Alex, what do you want to be when you get older?" And you're like, fuck being a doctor. I want to handle snakes."
Yeah, I never saw myself.
Oh, he learned that in prison, I believe, right? That's not what he told me?
A little bit.
Okay.
Now it's coming
Oh,
clear.
see,
So how did it start? Realistically, how did it start?
Well, I mean, when I was a kid, it boils back to that question where it's like, it really, I was so hyper that, when I was in class, even in elementary school, I couldn't.
From here?
Yeah.
San Diego?
San Diego. That I couldn't just sit still. I was always doing something. So I would ditch class to go in the back of the creek behind the school and catch frogs.
Where at?
La Mesa Middle, San Miguel Elementary, it didn't matter.
So people from other states are thinking you're down at the beach with the palm trees catching rattlesnakes. That's not necessarily what San Diego is, right?
Yeah, apparently we
it's
have
a desert. This
okay.
is
There's a bit of a following in Germany. I don't think they know.
9% of our followers are in Germany.
Really? How does that?
dude, I'm
Are you buying your followers?
Yeah, we have
Back to how you started with this.
We've got a like farm in Germany. That's where they do that, right?
So in middle school, you're playing with the animals, and
Yeah. Always bringing them into class, get in trouble with the teacher, get a write-up, a referral. But I've just that's always kept me entertained. Like I said, when I was in class, I couldn't focus. But whenever I was with animals, lizards, frogs, snakes, it doesn't matter. It's like I was able to actually calm down and be like, okay, now I finally feel normal type of
So
thing.
when they would write the referrals, would they write in there like, "Bitches playing with snakes again"?
Well, just hyperactive, couldn't control them, doesn't shut up,
do you think it's an ADHD thing or ADD
That's what
thing?
the
or-
doctors say, but I think it's just no one knew how to really kind of grab my attention because they're just like, the stereotypical people that just
Yeah.
they're
so you're
angry and they
public school.
smell, so you don't want anything to do with them. I remember one teacher, his name was Mr. Heisman. He had the worst breath, and he would
Shout
just
out.
come up and breathe in your face, aggressively because I did something wrong. I'm just like, man, his breath stinks. That's
So
20
you're
years
telling me
later, I
that's
still
how you
remember
get you got it into snakes?
Yeah, just,
Because snakes smell.
they do smell sometimes.
Why do snakes smell?
Well, they have a musk, so when they feel
They wear
threatened, they
cologne?
release a musk that's basically like a defense mechanism. So it's almost like pooping themselves, and it's a very nasty aroma, and it's supposed to ward off you from or deter you from eating
It works. I've never eaten a snake.
it.
Have you eaten one?
No.
He's humane with the snakes.
That's right.
He doesn't kill them. So he
Forgot.
does the opposite.
I hear it tastes like chicken.
So Fun fact: there is an animal that was the origin, but they couldn't find out what it was, so they just put chicken as the second best. But chicken tastes like something.
Tastes like chicken.
No, there's something that deserves the first place of that, but they just
I think it's rattlesnakes.
could be no.
Could be. He wouldn't know.
Yeah,
And neither would any of the rest of us.
we love snakes here,
So
especially Gary.
so it's not you don't just do rattlesnakes, because before we started, we heard you get a phone call about something that didn't happen to be a snake.
Yeah, lizards.
Yeah.
Anything animal related. I've done arachnids, large mammals, skunks a couple times. I don't.
Let's do the layman's terms here, because we have some stupid people that.
Arachnid means like 8-legged insects.
Okay.
Well,
Those are spiders.
Arachnid is not an insect; it's a spider. So
Okay.
tarantulas, black widows, stuff like that. People have questions, and I help them because I like the creepy crawlies.
Do you relocate a black widow?
Well, typically I haven't had somebody call me to get rid of the black widows. They'll just call me asking questions about the spider or anything. And if they say, hey, we're just going to start mass killing all these things, then I just either will offer like, hey, let me come get them, or, whatever. Because I don't know. I don't like killing wildlife or life in general unless it's like people hunt and fish and stuff like that. I'm not like a Nazi, so I'm like, oh, you can't do that. I'm like a tree hugger type of thing.
So you don't have a problem with people killing for sustenance or meat, game, not just to put up on the wall, but they put the stuff in the fridge or the freezer.
Killing 100 million sharks to mass feed shark fin soup, then I have a problem with that.
Yeah.
But it's like if you and I are going fishing and we catch a big old bluefin tuna,
We're gonna have good
we're
dinner.
gonna have bluefin tuna. But it's not like we're again. I think it's more along the lines of like commercial fishing. It's really I don't even know how we started talking about fishing, but yeah, stuff like that.
We just slithered away.
See, I told you. That's one of many.
Wait till it slithers out of the bucket.
But I do respect you. I've never met you. Right? I'm James, by the way. When she called and said, hey, you saw the picture and you saw that it was a lizard, not a snake, I almost spit my water out.
I know. I snapped at you, like, tried to get you to calm down because I didn't want to hear it.
That's the thing, though. You kept your demeanor and you were respectful and you answered
Professionalism.
questions. Yeah, professionalism. That's
You
good.
didn't.
No, not me.
No, you didn't.
Yeah, that's the core about my business. Is one, I love people, and I do my best to give the best customer service, and two, animals, giving them a second chance. It's like,
So you just don't be a dick.
well, it's a little bit more. Customer service kind of revolves around making that person feel like they're the only person there, even if it's something like a non-venomous animal like an alligator lizard. You have to make them feel like they're still important and it's still a concern, even though they're no threat at all.
Have you guys seen alligator lizards?
Yeah, I have one that lives in my backyard. I knew it wasn't a snake immediately.
They're not nice.
I haven't had a problem with them.
What are the ones in Mexico? The ones that look like alligators? They sit there and eat the banana. No, the big ass like lizard looking things.
Iguanas?
Yeah, those. Yeah, those are cool. Just have to throw that out there.
As soon as you said banana, I'm like, okay, iguanas are vegetarian too, so they'll eat. Yeah.
You ever been to Cancun?
No.
When you go to Cancun, you go to the Island of the Women, which is a little island like 2 miles off the coast.
I'm married now.
Take her. She'll love it. And don't freak out, because the guy will walk by, throw a banana at these little damn alligator looking things, and he'll sit there, peel the banana, eat it, and look at you like, what's up?
So I guess let's go with typical questions. What's the biggest snake you've had to remove?
Probably like a 4.5 foot red diamond rattlesnake.
Wow. How big around? Show us with your hands.
I feel like that gesture might become inappropriate.
Nah, you're good.
Oh, how big? Like a Coke can?
I've seen bigger snakes in my own personal time because I go looking for fun. Yeah, but I've probably seen snakes.
You don't have
probably
that.
about like that big old thick snake. So I've seen probably about 6 foot rattlesnakes.
So how old is a 6 foot rattlesnake?
Could be 10 plus years.
Wow.
Yeah,
How long do they live?
they can live up to 20. I mean, that's
No,
like average
in the wild.
Yeah,
In captivity, up to
I don't
20.
know
But
captivity.
in the wild, they're getting up to 20 years
They
old.
can absolutely
That's a smart snake.
if they live that long.
Yeah.
I mean, people kind of ruin it.
So my cat's killed 2 rattlesnakes in 3 weeks. Baby ones, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where's mom and dad?
They're smart enough to stay away. Yeah, so the youngins are the ones that are a little bit more naive. So they'll, as soon as they're born, especially now because it's mating season, so all the young ones are coming out. the parents will stay back in their mating sites, and the kids will just come out. Rattlesnakes typically, especially at a certain age, want nothing to do with people. Hence the very defensive posture when they see you rattling, like, fiery demeanor. But for the most part, they want nothing to do with you. So older snakes are a little bit smarter, and if they sense any type of uncomfortable atmosphere, people, whatever, they'll try to stay away as much as possible.
I've heard this throughout my life. I don't know if it's true that young rattlesnakes are actually more dangerous than older ones.
No.
Okay. Yeah. I'm glad I asked.
That's on the record.
So I like talking about this because most people don't know.
Prove it.
When I give an example, so venom is based up off of a couple compounds combined together. So I don't know the whole molecular structure side of it, but it's like the head size on a baby is probably the size of this bottle cap. The head size on a large rattlesnake is probably the width of this box. And a large rattlesnake's their venom glands develop in size as well. So a large rattlesnake has much larger venom glands in them. So basically, a full-grown adult would be like the equivalent of a 308, while a child would be a 22. Now, the gunpowder, the components, the process is still the same. The only difference is young ones can be a little bit more reckless. So when they bite you, they don't know when to release or not. So they're just like bite. And adults are like, I can't eat you, so I'm just going to give you a little bit of warning. People have gotten dry bites where they got bit, no venom, or they'll get bit, and just a little bit of venom. But if a full-grown adult was just like everything, you'd be in some bad.
So they can control how much venom they release?
Yeah, absolutely.
Huh.
Well, think about it. When a bunny's going 20 miles per hour, they have to stop it in time so that way it's not a mile away before, the bunny, they have to, because they're going to go track it down, right? So they'll bite it, bunny runs, then, their venom works fast enough to stop it.
So they have to somehow triangulate where to get this bunny that's going 20 miles an hour, where to hit it, and then calculate somehow how much venom to give it to stop it quickly so it doesn't, so they don't have to go chase after it.
Rattlesnakes are very smart in the sense of they know what their food is. So it's like whenever I feed a snake that's been fed on a consistent basis, as soon as I bring tongs to the front, they'll come out and be like, okay, is it food time? So they are very food responsive. So snakes know when their food is nearby because they can smell it or taste it because they have that.
Kid, she's very food motivated.
So am I.
We know.
I was hoping there was going to be a food here.
But yeah, Myconites.
Yeah.
Rattlesnakes.
Got some rattlesnakes over there. You said you never tried them before.
Have you been bit before?
No.
Is that uncommon?
No. I'm not going to get bit.
So last time we had Pete Stevens, who's a dog handler for a lot of years, and he had the kind of old adage, there's the three types of dog handlers. The ones that haven't been bit yet, the ones that have been bit, and then the ones that are going to get bit again. But that doesn't typically hold true with rattlesnake handlers.
So absolutely. So here's what I mean. If I get bit, it's due to a freak accident, which is obviously possible. Because when I'm on a job, I wear snake-proof boots. So there's boots that go up to my kneecaps, and they are bite-proof, so I can take a full-grown bite and be perfectly fine. Or you know what I mean. And then I have utensils, so my hands are never close to a snake in that sense, especially if I'm on the job. So I have 3-4 foot poles that I'm grabbing the snakes with and putting them in a bucket. Now, if I were to get bit, it's one because I'm too close to the snake. I'm in biting distance, and I was either accidentally fell, hand went too close, or two, I just didn't calculate the snake and that. But for the most part, you just have to be super cautious. And if you really play it by that, then you know what I mean. It really it gives you a better chance of avoiding that bite. You know what I mean. So you really have to use your utensils, your boots, all safety measures. If I didn't have those, then yes, I would be more likely to get bit. But it's like the old guys that I've never crashed on my motorcycle. I've been riding for 50 years, whatever. These guys, I crashed 3 times. It's speculation, but there's always a chance. But you know what I mean? Given the circumstance, if I do my cards right, it gives me a better chance of not getting bit.
So you've had to have some close calls, especially like you said, a trip and fall incident out in the backcountry. You slip, you got one, and you slip. There's got to be a close call, right?
I've had a couple close calls, but not on the job. They were just on my own free time. I was on this mountain in Mojave Desert, and it was just a slope downward. So we climbed up. I found a snake. The snake just went nuts, and it started, gravity. So the snake started going down the hill, and because it was going down, it was striking at me too because I was in front of it. So it reached a distance of like 10 feet in a matter of a couple of seconds while it's striking at me, and I'm sliding down, and then there's this little cliff, so I had to jump over the snake while it's striking at me. You laugh, but I was not laughing.
Well, it probably wasn't funny at the time. It's fucking hilarious right now.
It was. I was scared out of my mind.
What was that thing that Pete said again?
Yeah. So I guess another myth, maybe, if a snake strikes at you, you're fine if you move sideways.
That's cobra. Rattlesnakes don't do that. Rattlesnakes are like heat-seeking missiles because they have pit sensors on their face. So they detect all heat and motion. So if they know exactly where you are given the heat in your body, and not only that, they're lightning fast. So it doesn't matter if you're to the right, to the left, they're going to tag you in less than a blink of an eye.
Cobras, vibrations. Do they pick up vibrations too?
Yeah, they can pick up vibrations. They can pick up the scents in the air. They have this organ called the Jacobson organ. It's like the third eye on their head. Every time they stick out their tongue, they're able to taste all the particles in the air. So they know where their food is, their water is, shelter, predators. They really have a lot of stuff going on that's equipped to basically give them the best survival, because they're survival experts.
So if you see a snake curled up, does that mean like they're about to attack or?
No, I've had snakes curl up just sunbathing, soaking up some sun, curled up. I've had them stretched out, I've had snakes that were coiled up and just sat there. Usually when a snake's in defensive posture, it's reared up, so it's in a semi-coil position, reared up. The tail is going, and the snake its head is angled at you, ready to.
So you said
it's loading. Yeah,
you said usually.
Yeah, there's 101 different scenarios, but that's usually the case with them.
So if the snake is 3 feet long, how far should you stay back?
1,000 yards.
If you're me, you're up there within a foot or two of the snake trying to get it. But most people, you just stay, 10 feet back, you'll be okay.
Well, I guess a better question is, what's the striking distance?
Yeah.
3
It's
foot
tough
snake.
because, again, I've had snakes where they were slithering towards me and they covered a distance in a very short period of time. But if they're in coiled up and striking, it's relatively going to be part of their, not their half, but, 0.25%,
So that dispelled another myth that I think you were
But
kind of bringing
again,
up.
if the snake really wants to, they can lunge. You know what I mean? They could really extend themselves. There's no 100% like.
Wait, so the thing can be coiled up, lunge at you, but like actually jump at you as well?
But so you get like a second wave.
Yeah, I'm not touching that fucking thing.
Oh,
I'll go outside.
Yeah, I've had everything happen to me in regards to bite. I've had them coiled up, do a little strike, and then retract. I've had them coiled up, strike, halfway lunge, and then now their body's exposed because they didn't coil back. And then I've had them just slithering towards me because that was the only
the next
way.
day you're going to tell me they carry a little knife on them too? A little machine gun?
little 22.
Like, what the fuck is going on?
Rocket launcher.
I've been lied to my entire life about fucking rattlesnakes.
That's the third eye.
I'm sorry. So I'm glad we're here learning about this stuff because
I need
now I'm.
We're like Mythbusters right now.
Dude, okay, so here's another really important question. I know how my wife got pregnant by the mailman. How does a rattlesnake have its babies?
Same way
How do they make you?
Like, does the female drop her eggs and the male comes by, kind of?
So rattlesnakes, they don't lay eggs; they give live birth. So yes,
I did actually know that. I did know that.
a lot of snakes give eggs, or they'll lay eggs, and those are like motherly instinct snakes, where they'll basically wrap the eggs and watch over them. You know, just kind of like that motherly instinct or fatherly. Rattlesnakes don't. The mother basically drops the eggs. Or, I'm sorry, not the eggs, drops the young, and they'll pretty much go on their own, which has happened. I've caught snakes fresh out the womb, like they had literally a coat of whatever came out was still almost on them, so whatever was nearby, so the babies will just come out. And
How many are in a litter?
I've had them where 8 to 12 is kind of like the safe range. I mean, they've had more or less, but 8 to 12 is like a safe.
Is it called a litter or a murder?
What is
It should be a murder.
Snakes called
A den of rattlesnakes.
a den. Now we know that.
So the males have no purpose in life. They don't protect the female, or
Well, they beat up other males for the female.
do they?
Yeah, they have the little war where they two males will stand straight up, like, they'll arch as much of their body up off the ground. They'll rap and thrash each other. Whoever gets tired.
Have you seen that?
No, I've never seen that in person.
If you can get that on camera, that'd be great.
It would. I mean, YouTube has all that. People have already seen it, so fortunately.
So are rattlesnakes like the deadliest snakes out there? Or
No.
where do you think they?
You want to go to Australia, Africa, South America.
I don't want to go to any of those places.
No. But I mean, obviously, SoCal rattlesnakes. Rattlesnakes are really popular in this region.
Yes.
So you think that right now that's the deadliest snake in our region, like that we deal with?
So, thankfully, we don't have the most venomous rattlesnake. That's the Mojave green rattlesnake. We have, on the top 5, we probably have one of the top 5s, the Southern Pacific rattlesnake. They have a neurotoxic venom. Not a high ratio, but a little bit of neurotoxic venom that basically, once it hits the body, the neurotoxin is what caused paralysis, coma, and
before you go down this road here, what's the difference between venom and what is it? Poison.
So venom can be injected into the bloodstream.
Okay.
Poison has to be like consumed, right? So you could have venom on the surface of your skin, and it would cause a rash, irritation. But if it doesn't hit that bloodstream, you know what I mean. That's where you have the issues.
So
Poison's
Black Widow would be poison.
No, Black Widow's venomous too.
So
What's poison?
Here's how this goes. If it bites you and you die, it's venom. If you bite it and
Think
you
of
die,
poison
it's
oak.
poison.
Poison oak is an oil that gets on your skin and causes a reaction. Poison dart frogs in the Amazon, their skin secretes like a serum that basically is a poison. If you eat it, you die. There's a lot of frogs, toads that secrete a poison from like a toxin from their thing. So that's usually what that would be. But yeah, poison is more of a
Interesting. Brown recluse.
venom.
That's a thing.
Venom.
What are the big tarantulas? Those aren't right.
Which ones?
The big black ones.
That's another myth, I think. Are they poisonous, venomous? Because
Spiders are venomous.
You can all spiders.
No.
All spiders will have some sort of venom or serum that they inject, and it starts breaking up the tissue. Now, when you have a tarantula, it's a very large species, strong, ferocious by nature. They're a predatory, spider that is going to attack and ambush their prey. So black widows just rely on their sticky webs, wrap, and then their venom to kill their prey. Tarantulas are just like, they'll jump onto it, overpower it, crush it with their 2-inch fangs, and then eat it.
But those are
you said 2-inch fangs?
I've had it goes both ways. I've had very fiery and unhappy.
I don't think that was correct. You said a 2-inch fang?
That's a big
there's 2 to 3
2
inch fangs. The Goliath bird eater has very large fangs.
That's big.
That's like 7 inches.
Oh yeah. Agreed.
That's why they call you 4 inches of fury, right?
The what? The bird what?
The Goliath bird eating tarantula.
Goliath bird eating
Those are in
tarantula.
Australia?
No, South America.
And that's not close to here, right?
I don't think so.
Okay.
A couple miles away from our house.
So what do you do with these snakes?
They get released.
Yeah, where?
So that
In Alpine.
He tracks license plates for people that cut them off in traffic.
He's a private investigator.
the most important part about the relocation is that there's no access to the public as far as trails, anything like that, because then that's when things can start getting into a lot of trouble, right? Because you're this close to hikers and stuff like that. So my areas are obviously very secluded, remote. No one knows about them, and obviously the hike is just literally through brush, where poison oak ticks are like a daily thing. So going out there, making my own little trail, and then the snakes have to be, if the snake is caught, like let's say in a mole, it has to stay within a mole, because if you take it too far, the snake, just like a fish put into one temperature of water to another, if they don't have time to acclimate, they'll die. So snakes are very sensitive to that. So if you take them too far and change their whole scenery, they'll actually go into shock and die. So you have to kind of keep apples to apples, and okay, the snake was here, they have to stay this far within this region to basically keep them comfortable, for them to get a chance, because otherwise, like I said, they'll just die.
So that's probably a more important question. What steps do you take if you get bitten?
Well, let's do another myth here. You suck the poison out.
Will that actually do anything?
No.
I know how much anti-venom is, and I know the hospital doesn't have that much of it.
That's why you're holding the snake today.
Yeah. As soon as I saw it come out of the bucket with no tape on its mouth, I said no thanks.
Well, that's just
It's not an alligator.
I mean, it kind of is. that's the business end of a
You can
rat.
put tape on them, you know what I mean? But it just comes to the point of how far you're willing to go to stress the snake out. You know, if you're a good snake handler, if
Don't
you're
stress the
experienced and a
snake out.
professional, you can
Nice to
present
it,
a snake
but
in a professional manner without really putting people at risk. You know, but if you were to tape its mouth, yeah, I mean, people do it. But for me, that's not my cup of tea because one, these, like I said, the snakes want zero contact, you know, and any little stuff like that is just going to keep stressing them out. And it's not like a dog or cat where you can kind of play with them, you know, put tape on their feet and watch them act crazy. You know, snakes are very sensitive. Even something like that could stress a snake out to where it won't eat for months, you know. So
that's kind of cool because the fact that you actually take that step into making sure the snake is happy makes you different than the guy that I know that does rattlesnake avoidance too, whatever you want to call it, the removal. He tapes them and uses them for decoys and stuff for dog training and stuff.
Yeah.
So the fact that you take the steps into making sure the snake stays comfortable, I respect that.
Yeah.
So back to what I was saying. So you're on a hike. You don't realize the snake's there. Plugs you in the leg. What should you do?
So that's tough. You said on a hike. So one, on a hike. Two, so the most important thing is never go without a buddy. Two, if you're too far away, you have to have a satellite phone. Without those things, you really are putting yourself at risk. It's like going into battle without your artillery, right? Your ammo. You know, you went in there with a just say AR and you forgot your mags. You're like, oops. You know, it's your negligence. So if you're going hiking, you need to either be semi-close to your car. If you know you're going out far, have your buddies, have a satellite phone, because at that far out, if you're miles away, you're going to have to get a helicopter ride. So that's just what's going to have to happen.
So I know that.
So that's what's going to happen. If you do get bit and you're in that position, you need to lay on your back. Someone obviously is going to be over you because the panic sets in. So that basically starts speeding everything up like whatever. So you have to try to stay calm. As unrealistic as that sounds, you got to stay calm. Lay on your back. Have someone talking, just speaking positive over you. Each area has like a direct line to the emergency number. So it's not the police department because they transfer you. So you need to know what number that is. Find that number. That way you're not dealing with, let me transfer you, let me whatever. You call that number, just got bit, where are you? Boom. Then then they can just deal with you right on the spot. And obviously knowing what venom or what hospital has the anti-venom is always a good thing. They're supposed to, but I think for you guys, it's still good to know, like, hey, this hospital has anti-venom. You know what I mean? Because I've had people drive, there because they don't want to spend, $40,000 on the trip.
So, like, say if you get bit in the lower leg, will a tourniquet or something like that help out?
So no, yeah, they advise not to mess with anything, just because when it happens as venom, it really doesn't work like poison or anything else. As soon as it hits the bloodstream, boom, that thing starts eating away inflammation. So it's not like a typical injury that you would have. If you sprain something, you need to do whatever, tie it off. Venom, it doesn't work like that.
It's already in the blood, already pumping through.
So
your
is
body.
it basically? Are you guaranteed you're going to die if you get bit by a snake?
Dying. I mean, with the way our medical field is set up, the chances of dying is like slim to none, just because of what we offer. I mean, there's been people who've gotten bit. I mean, they're miserable for weeks, came out fine. I don't know, but then there's people who've gotten bit, miserable, and then they passed away. You know what I mean? So it's really like, I don't know what factors have to play, health, pre-existing health issues, body perform, if the snake is just like, or if you just give me a little warning bite, you don't know, I've had people in an hour, whole left side of their body swollen, one guy's just his little forearm swollen, so sometimes the venom's just here or it just gets here. It really just depends.
Is it possible to get bit by a rattlesnake and not realize it? Like until
the adrenaline sets in, yeah. You know what I mean? You're walking, or you see the snake or whatever the case. The adrenaline is pumping. I personally couldn't imagine, because when you get bit, it's gonna feel like heat radiating, right? That's like the first sensation is the heat.
Well, if you're hiking through the brush or something, and it feels like a stick goes, and you don't see it.
Like brown recluse and stuff like that had no clue until part of their arm just kind of falls out.
Was that when he was sleeping, or?
Yeah, I had a buddy not too long ago. He was actually he was in the hospital for it. I guess he might have been driving.
Yeah.
And somehow the thing got in his car and it bit him on his lower back, and he thought it was just a typical bug bite. And then all of a sudden it got what's the term, necrosis or whatever. And someone told him, like, you have to go to the hospital right now. And apparently it almost got into his kidneys and all kinds of crazy shit.
Yeah, it's bad.
But he had no idea he got bit by anything. He just knew it was falling apart.
Yeah.
And so I imagine it's probably unlikely with a rattlesnake. You're going to hear a rattle. You're going to hear something moving.
Well,
you're going to see it.
Let's dispel this myth. They don't always rattle.
No. So
you can get bit, stick your hand down there, and you don't hear a rattle, and then all of a sudden you got 2 holes in your hand.
Yeah, but I've never heard someone go, I'm walking down the trail and it came out of the bushes and attacked me. It's always, hey, I will step on it.
yeah, of course.
You know?
You're entering into its strike zone, so it strikes out of fear because the snake doesn't know your intentions, right? The snakes, I tell people, if it's 12 o'clock at night and you're sleeping and all of a sudden you see this big silhouette of someone my size, 6'7", standing in the doorway, what's the first thing I'm going to hear? And it's probably the shotgun being racked, That's the same thing with the snake. It's like, whoa, 1 second, nothing is there, but they're comfortable surroundings, and then all of a sudden this big silhouette of heat and movement is right in front of them. Now they're in like, okay, do I need to respond crazy and act all tough to scare them away, or do I need to sit here, stay stealth? Maybe they'll leave me alone. But if they're close and they're like, whoa, then they'll absolutely, they'll bite you.
So it's kind of like most animals that they don't want to deal with us.
Yeah.
Unless we get in their space, then they have to deal with us.
I've been inches away from a rattlesnake and it just stayed perfectly still. Because it was like, it can't. And the snake's like, okay, he doesn't see me, so I'm not going to expose my position. And it was funny because I was standing right behind the snake, and the snake's head was right facing forward. And it was the funny thing is the snake would stick its tongue out, and then instead of just sticking its tongue out, it'd go all the way in the back of its head.
Right, so they can see 360 degrees?
No, because their eyes are only limited.
Well, not see, but
but
their
senses, they can sense everything that's going on. So the snake would take its tongue and actually stick it in the back and touch the top of its head where I was, letting me know, hey, I know you're here. You know what I mean? So that snake was letting me know, I know you're there, but I'm not going to reveal my position and potentially get myself harmed. It wasn't until I grabbed it where it started rattling and be like, hey, I don't like this.
Or maybe because you're 6'7", 5'7" me.
Yeah,
that's a good point. We will try that in a little bit.
Yeah, like chicken with the damn snake. Yeah. So a gopher snake, will it kill a rattlesnake?
No.
Myth?
So there are a couple apex snakes like the king snake, the racers. They will eat other snakes, so they're notorious for that.
Peacock. Will a peacock kill a rattlesnake?
I think I've heard stories about peacocks killing rattlesnakes.
Roadrunner.
A honey badger, I don't know. It just depends on anything that's fast enough to not get bit.
Honey badger.
We don't have honey badgers here in San Diego.
Roadrunner, though.
and
Roadrunners usually
peacocks.
pick on the small rattlesnakes. I haven't seen a roadrunner take on like a full 4 or 5 footer, just because a 4 or 5 footer would do some damage. But the little ones, the roadrunners, they're able to kind of dance around with and tire them out and just kill them.
So what's the purpose of having a gopher snake then? Everyone's like, oh,
Pest
gopher
control. Pest control. Free pest control.
snake. So the myth of them not killing rattlesnakes is not a thing, right?
I've never heard of anything with like a gopher snake eating a rattle, or any snake in general. I've heard of rattlesnakes eating rattlesnakes, king snakes eating rattlesnakes and other snakes, and then the racers eating other snakes too.
What's a racer?
It's a California racer. It's like it's a very
snake with
fast
a spoiler on it.
Yeah, spoiler and exhaust.
Yeah.
No, but they're pretty much the ones we have here. Black with like 2 white stripes going down their sides. Very fast.
That's where it gets the racer.
Well, yeah, it's got that 10 extra horsepower.
The pinstripe.
Yeah, they're considered colubrid or like in the coachwhip family, but yeah, they're racers, very fast. So they're just like, as soon as you see them, they just bolt. And
What is fast?
like
In feet per second.
I don't know. I've chased them down and I couldn't catch up to one.
Okay.
So they're very fast.
Well,
So
are you slow or?
I can't be slow.
He's 6'7".
Dude, come on.
You gotta be very quick at this job.
Agile.
Agile. So how many snakes a day do you think you usually catch?
When it's busy, probably about 4 or 5. That's like calls. So that's someone calling me from one area, then I have to drive an hour. So, I'm on the road for probably about 5 or 6 hours a day. An hour or 2 on the property. So, and then double the drive time. So it's usually like, 12, 14 hours I'm catching stuff.
So how far do you range? You just stay
Wherever.
in San Diego
No,
County,
wherever. I've had people call me from LA, Joshua Tree, San Ysidro. I've gone as far as anybody wants me to go. That's my business motto is, if you need me, I'll be there. I need to serve the people.
You just got a new truck too.
I do.
What kind of truck?
The Prius.
I'm sorry.
Prius pickup.
Pretty much.
It's nice. It's red. It's got his logos on the side of
And
it.
it's running.
Does it have? Do you have snake holders in there?
What's a snake holder?
I don't know. I didn't think about that.
Do you have anything snake related in your car aside from the snakes?
The snake hooks, snake
Well,
stickers.
like do you have?
We call those utensils, Joe.
Do you have like the seats? Is the upholstery snake themed?
Oh no, not like that.
We
Just
don't-
everything's
So,
pretty.
I mean,
pretty for the.
here's an idea
Stop.
for you. What do you?
Well, that would, that might, make people think that I'm using a real snake to upholster my seats, and then they'd be like, "We don't."
Maybe that's a
appreciate-"
warning to the other snakes.
Well, I want the
To your
snakes to get
competition.
back to me.
Warning to your competition.
Oh, you make it look like other snake handlers' skin. Warning to the other ones.
Human flesh.
So what is it? What do you charge to come grab a snake from my property?
It just depends on mileage, time, and how long I'm on the property. So if you're like, "Hey, just come get the snake," it can be anywhere from $75 to $150. If it's in like my local area. But if it's like an hour, 2 hour drive time, then obviously the price goes more. But usually what I do most is property inspections because people want to know if there's other snakes on their property. So I'm spending anywhere from 2 to 4 hours on their property just doing like a thorough search, rocks, debris.
So what's a property inspection cost?
Same thing. So it depends where you're located
Okay.
and the property size. Because I've done 10-acre properties, right? That's like, I'm out there for 5-6 hours. It's $500-$600. But if it's like a super small thing, I've done $150 to $250. Depending on the size of the property and the drive time.
What can you do to snake proof your house?
Oh, you pour
Burn
salt
it.
around it.
Just kidding.
That's
No,
a
I mean,
snail.
No, snakes won't cross salt.
That's snails.
I read it on the internet.
Like dog pee.
CNN.
Yeah.
Foxes.
All I see on my phone is CNN news. So you really believe that?
Absolutely.
They have Apple News. It's literally CNN. So it's like
Why would they lie?
they're doing something here.
They don't lie.
I'm trying to get the hints that they're trying to. Tell me.
You need to wake up.
Yeah, wake up and
Alright, so why are snakes always used for like devil rituals? So I read that on the
They're
internet,
not
too.
necessarily. I mean, bats have been used predominantly for that. Snakes are just kind of used as a scare tactic of like most people's fear. But for cult rituals, it's either like
Snakes.
birds, bats. They'll probably do snakes, but a lot of livestock. Goat blood. Yeah, cults are weird. Devil worshippers are weird. Hope you guys aren't one because I just called you weird.
Back to snake proofing the house. What can you do? So you got the fire. You got the fire triangle, right? Is there a snake triangle? You remove one of the things, and the snakes don't come around.
So snakes need a couple things to live. So
Water?
food, water, and shelter.
Okay.
So if you have open water source, you remove that. That definitely.
Will they
helps
drink out of a
snakes.
swimming pool?
They try, but they realize the water isn't undrinkable. So that usually happens a lot. So pools.
So they'll still come around if you have
Yeah,
a
because
pool.
they know the pool's there, so they'll come hanging out. So
Can rattlesnakes swim?
yes, not like
So you
Michael
can't-
Phelps, but
Okay,
know,
so you
they'll
can't
float.
climb. Can they climb trees?
Not very well.
So it's like
they
a black bear or a brown bear?
I've had them use the branches as anchors, but they just can't climb straight up like a gopher snake could just climb straight up a wall.
I was hiking Hollenbeck Canyon years ago, and walking down the trail.
You saw a
It was in the
snake
springtime.
parachuting into the canyon.
Springtime, in the month of May, and there's a snake hanging out in the brush line, like waist height, just waiting right there.
Mm-hmm.
What's he doing?
What type of snake?
I didn't stick around to find
Fucking
out.
green
So
one.
that I need to know.
Well, the next time I see, I will ask him.
So, I mean, snakes are predator species.
Are they waiting
so
for a
they
bird
could
or
be-
something?
Well, no, not necessarily. I mean, it depends what time of the day. If it was like a morning time, nighttime.
This is
Snakes-
a lot of
snakes
things that didn't go through my head when I saw that, and I'm
If it's
walking.
morning time, snakes come out in the morning to sunbathe and kind of do whatever they need to do. As soon as it starts getting hot, they'll seek refuge. So if it was getting hotter in the day, the snake could have been looking for a cool place to hide out. So, there's always
In
a
this
couple
case, it's
factors.
Japan's.
I think it was sunbathing.
Could have
So, question I had earlier, if that's bring up, do snakes like actively hunt, or do they just kind of hang out and wait for something to go by?
Yeah, king snakes will actively hunt. Gopher snakes the same way. Rattlesnakes are ambush predators. So I've seen them hunt, but I've seen them just kind of sit there. Something will walk by, whack, and then they go track it down and eat it. So
So when they hit it with their fangs, can they? And it's just like you shoot a deer, right? You shoot a deer runs off, you gotta go find it. You look for the blood trail. Now, if a snake does that, is there something that they can smell? Can they still smell that animal? How do they find it?
Yeah, the sensing, they're tracking. So the snake knows what the vermin smell like. So as soon as it dies wherever, the snake,
How
will
far
start
away?
taking-
It can track it.
Yeah. I mean, if they're not going to... Their prey doesn't usually die, like, an extensive amount away. It's usually in a really relative... Because as soon as the venom hits, they kind of lose control of their muscles. So start spasming, twitching, stuff like that. So as soon as that kicks in, the mice will just kind of, like, flop on their side and then start, like, dragging in circles, type of thing.
So,
So-
do other snakes, like if one snake bites prey, will other snakes go after that same prey?
In what context?
Like
So-
if there's two snakes fairly close proximity,
Yeah.
one bites some prey,
Yeah,
thing
yeah,
bites
they'll-
those, and then the other one will go after
I'm sure
it
they'll
too.
both go after the same prey if they know. Yeah,
It's a snake on snake crime.
it's racist.
Racist.
So what are the animals you deal with?
I mean, realistically, anything. Like I
Obviously
said, I've gotten
lizards.
skunks, lizards, arachnids, spiders. Anything. And I love all wildlife. My social media is mainly just spent off of conservation, so I deal with a lot of sea life, stingrays, rip Steve Irwin. Octopuses. I love octopuses. They're so cool.
I love puss too, dude.
Yeah.
I got you,
Puss got
man.
bags.
Octopus. I think Joe's right there. It's octopi.
Octopi.
Get it right.
Is it?
It is octopi, yeah. It's
So how-
plural for an octopus.
Oh, okay,
Oh.
for the plural. I was like, yeah, I'm not in the
No, like a single one is an octopus. Multiple are octopi.
Okay.
Yeah.
Learning stuff every day. So they're in the mollusk family, so it's basically like shellless snails. So that's pretty much what they are. But yeah, so
Sometimes they have shells.
if anybody's like, hey Alex, I got a iguana, I got a bird, I got a whatever, can you come help out? Absolutely.
What kind of invasive species do we have here in San Diego County?
Corys.
Like we got the zebra shrimp places or zebra mussels, whatever they are. I don't know. Zebras running around.
I think don't quote me on this.
That's why you're
But I
here. We're
think
quoting
it's
you.
the bullfrog.
Jeremiah's?
I heard somewhere, I forget who told me, but I think they had mentioned that the bullfrog here was whatever. So was invasive, yeah. Because they're just so dominant, they don't really have any real predators. I don't know.
Well, the
But-
bullfrog needs water, and then once it turns into a damn frog, it doesn't need water anymore. I was at the river 3 hours ago. And
This
I saw
is
thousands
a
of
myth.
bullfrogs.
This is a myth. Go ahead.
I saw them with my own eyes. They're there.
Were they actually bullfrogs or another species of
They're
frog?
bullfrogs.
Okay.
So does it?
The
Do they
bullfrogs
have
are
like?
the big, like.
They have, like,
Well, no,
horns on their head?
toads are very big too as well. So we have a couple species that get very large.
I told him that earlier.
Dude, I was with a Boy Scout. He knows what he's talking about.
Yeah.
So other invasive species, I'm not sure. Florida is like the number one invasive species state. California, I really don't know. Because I guess there's not that many to account for. Isn't that Asian hornet here? Whatever that,
The murder hornet.
the murder hornet.
It's up in Washington, I think.
Did I say that wrong? Asian hornet?
Yeah,
That's racist.
I don't,
you didn't
I
call
don't
it
think
the
you
murder
can say
hornet,
that.
'cause that's what it is.
I just, whatever. I thought it was Asian hornet,
So-
wasp or whatever.
What'd you bring here today?
Oh, we're getting into that already, huh?
Yeah.
How would you like to do this?
Say let's take a quick break, collect ourselves. I'm gonna go pee, so I don't pee if I touch the snake. If that's okay.
I thought he said you're supposed to pee on it.
Well,
No, it's
Well, now we're going into the video only because people who are listening to us without watching us
Well, we
are
could.
going to want to go home and watch what we're about to show because he brought
You're going to
snakes
see
about
3
to-
grown men act like little bitches.
Just 2.
I can put one on the table.
You could, and I can go in the fucking back too. Like, I'll sleep here if I have to.
You got the guard dog, the guard snake.
How cool would that be?
Well, I've seen stuff like that before, where people will just put a fucking snake in their car, like in South Africa. They go ahead and break in, and this fucking boa constrictor's gonna fuck you up. You know, it happens. And it's happened in Florida too. They'll put a crocodile in their car.
Do they crack the window?
I hope so.
Yeah,
Especially he hopes so.
It's probably a Tesla because they have that crocodile mode. The AC stays on.
I do. I read a thing where a gal like ran into the supermarket and then turned the dog mode on for her boyfriend to sit there. He's like, "Son of a bitch."
All right. Well, let's take a break so we can come back and play with each other's snakes. Joe's got a problem right now that he might need to talk to you about off air if you want to relocate some snakes into a certain area.
Absolutely, this would actually be a perfect dumping ground for
as
your
long
snakes.
as you commit to not killing bobcats. That'll help.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, totally worth it. Yeah.
Yeah, I believe this is worth it as well.
Yeah.
We'll talk about it later.
Are they under a house?
We'll talk about it off camera.
Okay.
Well, let me tell you a
I've
story.
been under a house before.
What are your
Looking for a big
what are your
rattlesnake.
thoughts? So I know you don't like killing animals and stuff like that. What are your thoughts on killing people?
You know, Steve Irwin said it best. He's like, I trust animals because I can predict the animal's behavior, but I don't trust people.
I like that answer.
I
That's
don't.
acceptable.
I don't
We're
trust
gonna talk
people in
more
the
off
sense
camera.
of like, you know, you can pretend to be my friend one moment, and then you can pretend to be my friend the next moment. Now, I'm not some revolutionary, you know, patriot guy who's just going to start shooting up whatever. You know, that's not my cup of tea. I'm very just, you know,
Was that a British joke?
crikey, not crikey, cheerio.
Blimey.
Blimey. No, but for me, it's like, you know, I get into that. I would get into that position if I had to defend someone I loved, you know. But, you know, you could come up to me, punch me in the face. You know, I'm like, I don't care because.
You're 6'7". I don't think that's going to
Well,
happen.
it's true. But it's when you start messing with my inner circle, then I have a problem. You know, because I have control. If you punch me and you just want to act tough, I could care less. But if you want to harm somebody who now is defenseless, then I'm going to step in. And,
So if you had the opportunity to kill Hitler, would you?
Yes.
Good for
Yes.
you.
I would have taken a rattlesnake, pretended to shake his hand, and just put it right in his eyeball.
How would you get the rattlesnake to Germany?
How would you
My
hide
pants.
it in your hand? Like you
My
throw
pants.
it at him like Spider-Man?
No,
No, you can
they
hold
jump.
their head like that.
You can hold
So this is a true story. I was talking to
the Hitler thing.
no.
Okay.
There's this guy who was in the medical field, and he did it for like prisons. And one time, one of the inmates had a rattlesnake and went to another inmate to shake his hand, and then he just held the rattlesnake by the head behind his back, and then just grabbed him. When he went to reach his hand out, he took the snake and just bit him in the hand.
Never shake anybody's hand again.
No,
Nope. Well,
not if it's behind their back.
yeah. Okay.
No way.
All right. So
Maybe
now
that's why shake and snake sounds so similar. I want to snake your hand.
One of my snakes got out behind me.
You can't see me. I
I
don't
love-
give off.
So
That's
here's the
something
thing.
about-
He knew you were full of shit, but you saw him freeze. Like, oh fuck! I hope that's not.
I don't give off any heat when I don't move.
So you wouldn't
You can't see me if I close my eyes.
Which, all right, which leads me into the big important question that we're doing this for. We want to know your thoughts about the Samuel L. Jackson masterpiece, Snakes on a Plane. Did you see it?
I think so.
What did you think of it? Was it realistic?
No.
Okay. Well, I guess that kind of died then. But now I guess I'll ask the follow-up. What did you think of the sequel, Snakes on a Train?
Is that a thing?
It is a thing. Of course it is.
Oh Lord, I haven't seen that.
All right. Well, so I guess you got some homework for next time.
Okay, snakes on a train.
So you have to watch them back to back.
That seems unpleasant.
And you got to take notes.
Snakes in a confined area. If they're restrictors, don't worry about it. If they're venomous, then that's a different story.
I'm gonna worry about it regardless. Yeah.
That's
What
all.
was that
That's all I'm
movie?
going to think about from now on.
It was the Jungle Cruise. Did you guys see that? The Rock. I don't encourage you guys to see it at all. I didn't like it. But one of the guys
They didn't
was
take the
like
snake
this
well.
enemy, whatever, the whole enemy thing. He comes out and he's like, oh, the snake guy. So he comes out and these snakes start coming out of nowhere. And each and every one of the snakes was a boa or a constrictor species. And I'm like, Why on earth would you put a villain and then give him small constrictor species instead of venomous snakes? It's like, why would they not be venomous? Why would they be
So
a little
this is
tiny
the shit I go
boa?
through every time I watch a military movie, every time I watch a science movie.
Pete said the same thing.
Why can't they just do it right? Just make all of us happy. It's just as entertaining, and we don't have to have conversations like this. Hollywood sucks.
So have you guys ever got the interview question? What is your greatest fear in an interview?
No.
No.
No. Do you guys have jobs?
Jobs?
Okay. Just checking.
Is that what you're going to ask?
No, because I did get that question one time.
What'd you say?
Here's what I said, Joe. Thank you for asking.
Corey, what is your greatest fear?
So, it may be a little weird to you, but I want you to think about it.
There's nothing you can say that would be weird. I've known you long enough.
Croutons. He doesn't like
It's going to be something stupid like this.
Well, I don't like croutons because they're in a salad, and why are you eating a salad in the first place? So, when I wear sandals,
There we go.
Okay.
Yeah, I know it. It's going to be something stupid. Go ahead.
and I only wear sandals in the summertime, usually, and I live in an area with snakes. Now, snakes aren't my problem. I have this fear. Some people may say it's irrational. I don't believe it is. That when I'm walking and I lift my heel up, a lizard will go under my foot and I will come down on top of it. And I said that in the interview.
Fear.
Yes, I said that in the interview because the day before it almost happened. I didn't end up getting that job.
Wonder why.
So you killed a lizard?
No. Can you imagine just feeling that thing slithering around under your foot?
No, you would kill it. Your weight, you would kill it in an instant. You wouldn't feel it slithering. You would.
I'm not 6'7".
How much?
Well,
do you
that's not the important part.
a lizard.
Wait a minute.
All right. Well, James, what is your greatest fear?
Trees.
Like in general.
There's no trees in the Navy?
So you're like the
No,
movie The
water
Happening?
trees.
Huh?
You're like from the movie The Happening, where the trees start killing everyone.
No, when I was 9 years old, my mom had me go pay the rent. So our apartment complex, other side where I had to pay the rent. Walking, started raining, a storm came through, a tree pretty much split, and I looked back and it was pretty much about to drop on me. And ever since then, I just don't fuck with trees.
Yeah.
I had
Not
something-
as bad as lizards. Go
I
ahead,
had
though,
something
Joe.
kind of like that happen. So when I was in Spring Valley, I noticed it was raining freakishly hard, like just abnormally hard, harder than I'd ever seen in San Diego. And I remember I pulled up the one of the weather apps on my phone, and there was legit a fucking hurricane right above my house. There was like a turning system above my house. And I was like, well, that's just fucking peculiar. And I went into the bathroom, I took a shower, and I heard this loud thud. So I got out of the shower, I walked
Lizard.
outside. No, I'd stepped on a lizard going up. No, the tree in our backyard actually fell on the house, which, good thing the house was there. I don't know why it wouldn't be, but it was falling in the right direction.
Well, if the house wasn't there, it wouldn't have fallen on the house. So
Yeah,
I don't know if it's a
there's
good thing.
But
the
either
house
way,
was-
the tree tried to kill me, basically, and the house stopped it.
Yeah, but they fucking suck.
Yeah.
But they give life at the same
Fuck
time.
that.
What's your greatest fear? I'm guessing it's not snakes, but think about the lizard thing. Think about it.
You'd kill it in a second.
No, it would still slither under my foot.
Wait,
It
its
would
tail
die.
would fall off and freak
Exactly,
out,
and that's what I don't like.
Most lizards aren't the size of a shoe, so they're going to go.
No,
right
it's
under
my
and sit.
sandal under the arch. See, you haven't put
It's
enough
gonna
thought
be a
into
snake
this.
that you feel under.
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
I
put enough thought into
think
this.
I've put too much thought into this already.
All
right, let's whip 'em out.
Fear wise, I don't. I mean, animals. I'm not afraid of animals or nature.
What about a donkey? Okay.
I think the only thing that kind of fears me is just like the loss of my parents. That's probably about it. Like I'm scared of.
Why are you scared?
I don't know. I try to
Think
really
about that?
think about this question. And I don't know why, because I'm usually not like I'm pretty like not emotionless, but nothing really like phases me. But whenever I think about that, it's just like I get like a little kid. You know, I can't hold myself together. So I don't know why. I really don't have a finger, to put on it. But it's
Is
just
this something that you think about regularly?
no. But it's just I don't know.
Just a
I think I had a
question.
close encounter once when I was a kid, and it just really shook me up, and I'm just traumatized after that. And it's just kind of like, don't leave me type of thing.
Yeah.
Is it because you haven't fulfilled something with your family, your parents?
No, not necessarily. I think I just want.
Thanks, Dr. Phil.
No, I'm serious. Like,
yeah, people like their parents.
No, because I have a great relationship with my parents. You know, it's just I don't know. Maybe that's why. It's because I love them so much.
are you scared to die?
No, I'm not. I
He
just
fucks around with rattlesnakes for a
No,
job.
that's what I'm saying.
No,
Though, like,
no.
people ask me all the time, James, you ready to die?
Why are they asking you that all the time? What are you
Not all
doing?
the time, but
You just said.
around a fucking campfire, people comes
when you
up.
die, you don't unless it's like a. I mean, we've experienced pain on all levels, so it's like when you die, you don't know you die. You're just that's it. Your body, your spirit is gone. Right. But for me, as my parents, I don't know how I would feel after knowing that they're gone. I wouldn't be able to see them. I think for me, that's the biggest fear is living life knowing that I won't get to see them.
And you're not religious, are you?
Yes, I am.
What religion?
I'm Christian. So, but like I said, I don't care. You know, for me, I could die. You know, doing what I love, I would not care. But just my parents hold a special place in my heart. No place, not place.
That's nice.
A little
That's
sentimental thing.
I still believe that my blizzard thing it trumps everyone, but whatever. Let's see it.
All right.
All right, let's do it to it.
Oh, there's the pull up. Stand down.
Where are you going with these snakes?
Yeah, I'm out. James, you gonna film this, or what are you gonna do, buddy?
Oh, yeah, let
I'm
me...
going to take pictures from back here.
Oh.
Jesus Christ.
This is Gilbert. He's a sidewinder. So Gilbert is from the Mojave Desert. Him by nature, the Mojave Desert is a much hotter place. So these snakes have
Did you
developed.
go outside today?
What's that?
It was about 40,000 degrees outside.
Oh no, he's my guy. He's in controlled environment.
Well, let me zoom in so it looks like I'm right next to it.
Oh yeah, that's exactly what I'm doing. I'm such a fucking tough guy. I'm right on top of this thing.
So the sidewinders, they get their name because when it's so hot on that boiling sand in 120 degree heat, they developed a pattern of movement that basically it limits what part of their body's actually touching the sand. So they have that sidewinder movement, and what it does is it only keeps part of their body on the sand and in a motion that's always moving, so they're really not coming into like direct contact. So this basically makes it so that they don't get burned.
All right, so a kind of a weird question, I guess. One of my favorite patriotic symbols is Gadsden flag. What type of snake is that?
Is that the don't tread on me?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that would be a diamondback, a western diamondback. I'm
Right.
pretty sure that's like the infamous snake that most snake people don't know. That, you know, snakes, but they know that snake.
So if I touch its tail right now, will it freak out or no?
Don't be a dick.
So I will advise while everybody's here. I would not advise to touch anything just because for me, I can't have you guys, you know, putting yourself in danger or anything like that. So, you know, the snake's here. He's fine. He's just checking everybody out. This is actually the most docile snake I own. He is literally the equivalent of like almost like a dog in a sense of I'll come up to the cage and he'll come right out as soon as I get there. He never rattles at me. He's never tried to bite me. So this snake has always been extremely just, you know, kind of dealing with me type of thing. Now I've dealt with snakes that don't want anything to do with me. Him, on the other hand, he's just a sweet little boy.
So this sounds like it sounds absurd me just thinking this, but can you have snakes that are like affectionate? They like
No, so they're not going to
people?
have. They're not going to be like a dog affectionate.
Mhm.
But what will happen is they kind of lose that fight or flight mechanism that kind of teaches them how to act in the wild. Because whenever you give a snake food, water, shelter, and heat, now they've kind of realized, hey, I don't have to work, you know, for anything. So he's like, I get everything for free, so I don't even need to act like a crazy, you know, defensive snake. You know, because again, these snakes are not aggressive; they just act purely out of fear. So he's like, I see this guy walk every day. He walks by my enclosure. He gives me food. He gives me water. He's not out here to hurt me, so I don't need to, you know, act all big and tough. And you can see he's just chill.
Does he know how to run that board there? We could use another employee here. Wait, that's my only hard drive. He's not going to. He's going for water. See, I should have removed the water.
Give him a mic and Ike.
That'll feed him for like years, right? He's a small
Hey,
snake.
why are you walking away from this snake?
Yeah, hello.
Can you come back over here, please?
Oh,
Oh,
that's
geez, we don't need two.
Okay, so this right here is the Mojave
Are they
rattlesnake.
friends? How do you know?
So the Mojave rattlesnake is pound for pound
Jesus.
The most
Biggest fish
venomous.
in the water.
He's look. I feel like there's snakes everywhere right now.
The most venomous snake species that we have here in the U.S.
So why is he on my table?
Because he likes you.
Okay.
So I don't have a name for him yet, but this was the snake that someone.
Carlos.
Have you tried Slithery
Carlos.
Boy?
I like Carlos. But so this snake was given to me as like an adoption. Someone had him. They couldn't take care of it anymore.
Adopted
So
a snake?
I adopted him.
You have to do you have special paperwork?
No.
Or?
So
If you
this
pay
is a
the
snake
government?
that if you ever see, Mojaves are known for their greenish color. That's why they call them Mojave green. They have a very high neurotoxic ratio. So like we were talking
Are
earlier,
they talking to each other?
no, they just know each other there. You know, they're like, hey, I know you, you know me, type of thing. But
Can you make them? Can they do the stand-up fight thing?
no,
Yeah,
because there's no female to compete for.
We could get one downstairs, Plato's closet. There's a bunch
There's
of
a lot of them.
I actually identify as a female right now.
Okay.
So if we
I don't
can-
think you're attractive enough for
He
them.
said right now.
Huh? Look at them kissing.
Oh, they're looking at each other. How funny would it be if they just snap at each other?
That would not be good.
That's
James.
not funny.
Yeah, it's not funny. I get the back.
I hope he turn. He's got a little horn on his head or something.
They're beautiful snakes, aren't they?
Yeah.
Thank you.
I really want to touch it.
We'll wait till the podcast's over. Whoa! It made a noise.
Oh yeah, look at that little rattle in the back.
I'm gonna get Gilbert back in.
Gilbert, you gotta go home, buddy.
All right. See you later, Gilbert.
There it goes.
See? Yeah, I put obstacles in the way to make sure.
So is this like the typical length of these things?
No, they get much bigger. I've only had him for a while, so he's still anticipated to grow much larger. But like I was talking about before, this snake is very venomous, highly venomous, and
And he's
this is a
staring
snake.
right at me.
Yeah, this is a snake that if you were in like a choice where you have to get bit by this snake or that snake, you would take the Sidewinder all day over this snake.
Oh, for sure.
I'm gonna try and just not get in that.
But it
position.
was a rhetorical question. Like you only have one choice, but you get $1 million.
Okay.
You can't spend $1 million
I
if
just
you're
got-
fucking dead.
Since we're live here, someone said you don't have hair on your ass unless I touch the snake. So I'm gonna use Photoshop later. We'll figure this out here. Let me go like this.
But you do have hair in your ass. I know that for a fact.
Touched it.
Here, let me get this one. I'll bring out the big girl.
That's Carlos, by the way.
No, Matt, I'm not. Shh. No, Matt, I'm not touching that thing. Can you? Where is the door locked?
Yep.
Why did you lock the door? You gotta stand on this side.
Oh, she's shedding.
Oh, good. That means she's getting bigger.
What does that mean?
It means I probably shouldn't have messed with her.
Oh, great. Great.
Well,
Well, she's here and irritated. Might as well go for it.
okay. I'm just going to do this very cautiously because I do not want to stress her out.
You're stressing me out.
there's a lot of tension on this side of the room.
What the fuck are you doing?
Oh, shit,
Jesus.
son. Are you kidding me?
Did you lock the door?
So I'm going to let her do her own thing. Because
she
she was not shedding when I brought her in, but she's actually started shedding now, which is,
How long does that take?
well, if she doesn't have anything to rub against to get it off, it might take a while. So
Joe's
definitely,
here.
no, I'll probably have to get her back soon so that way she can finish. But as you can see the flap of scales. There are excess scales right there. So
What if this thing starts running right now?
I'm going the fuck that way.
no, it's pretty cold in here. So you know what I mean. They're going to be,
Yeah.
pretty active depending on the ambient temperature. And
I did ask you for to put them in the fridge before you came. You did deny that.
yeah, I did deny that.
Nah.
Do you want the key?
You're good.
See, look what she's doing. She's just checking you guys out.
All right, check it out.
Did you think I'm good looking or?
No, she's just making
She
sure
thinks you're
she's seeing all this heat.
Edible.
So she's like, "What's going on?"
365, Preston. Snake shot.
There you go.
Snake shot.
Let's shake the angry snake.
She's absolutely not angry. Actually,
Yeah.
She
she's
said she was irritated.
No, I didn't say she's irritated. I said
I misread
so
that.
when she's shedding, it's a much more vulnerable state. So
lower our voices.
she
Just
could be a
don't
little bit
move.
more stressed out.
Gotcha.
Should I take my shirt off?
Well, I mean, that's always going to be a yes in my book.
Oh, she is shitting.
We did have a paramedic here with us, but he had to leave. So
I'm gonna need him too. I'll give you mouth to mouth.
So
Heimlich.
this is the most common species we have here in San Diego, the southern Pacific rattlesnake. And she was a rescue snake because I got a call that there was a rattlesnake stuck in rabbit wire. So rabbit wire is probably, what, half an inch thick?
Yeah.
She was stuck mid-length in. And you can even see here there's this area where she had some pretty bad lacerations, but I had to take her in, heal her, basically get her recovered. I put Neosporin on her wounds to help. So it's a whole process, but I made sure she was back to full recovery, and she's doing incredible.
She's beautiful.
Yeah.
What's her name? Samantha?
Sheila.
Sheila?
Samantha. That's going to get you in trouble later.
Semantics.
Wow.
Can you talk, or you can jump through hoops or anything?
See, this is so when you're dealing with a snake that, you know what I mean, she's not trying to be defensive. This is the type of demeanor, very calm, very docile. You know what I mean. So it's showing. It's a good sign because it's showing that she's not in that fight or flight mode that would cause her to be extremely stressed.
So she likes me.
Let's say she likes you for the sake of the video.
Been attracted to a lot of snakes in my time.
I get that all pun.
Yeah, she's just checking everything out right now. She's like, "What's this?"
Why is there a cooler in a gun store? Is that what she's asking?
I think she's wondering why there's a snake in a gun store.
Or why there's no 300 Win Mag ammo and stuff.
Say 300 women.
How can you tell she's a female? How can you tell she's a female, or what is the difference between male and female?
So if we had a male and female her this age, let's say it's a 6-year-old snake, the male would be larger by nature because the males, when they grow, they only focus a lot of their energy into their size, while females focus on the reproduction. But her, the main giveaway is, so her cloaca.
The bonnet on her head is that shows she's female.
Exactly. But so males have hemipenes and the female's cloaca hemipenes. So it's like these two little peni that pop out for their mating.
Snakes have 2 dicks?
I don't know if it's technically 2 dicks, but it is like 2 little prongs that pop out of their butthole.
Good for them.
So her, obviously, the main factor is from here to here, the distance.
Wait. But I was reading a comment and I heard butthole and snake.
So
penises.
Everything is
That's why you're
done.
excited. Look at you.
Everything is done in their butthole. That's just how it is. So
My wife too.
her cloaca.
Sorry, Morgan.
So the number one indicator
Can you
is
stop looking at me while the snake is right there.
from
please?
here to her area, her private area is the number one indicator of. So males are further back, while females are closer to the rattle.
So how do you look on the other side of the snake?
I just know.
Oh, okay.
Like, you know, you look at a gun and be like, this is a 308, this is a 9. What are you just know?
Well, thanks for bringing her
Can
out.
they breathe through their butt like turtles?
No.
Okay.
Can you breathe through your butt?
Apparently, yes. You just have to train yourself how to do it. Oh, no, don't get out of the bucket.
I believe you.
Joe, can you make a mount for the snake's head from the GoPro?
You guys are going to blow up.
If you think that's weird, look up duck penis.
That's
Why?
No, that's
Oh, it's a comment.
From who?
Brett Berry's brother.
Oh, jeez.
All right, you good?
All right, see you guys.
All right, where can they find you?
I don't know.
Obviously, you're
Oh,
6'7".
oh.
They can see
You
you
see me
a mile
walking
away.
down the street. Facebook.
Mike's off. Snake, actually.
So-Cal Rattlesnake Removal website, and then my Facebook, Instagram, all that good stuff.
Cool. I'm gonna put you on my YouTube channel too because that was pretty freaking cool.
Awesome.
Just hanging out with snakes, guys. The podcast we did. Where can they find the podcast?
On a rock or something. It is on everything now. It should be on Apple. What else is there? Spotify, YouTube. A couple of the random ones I've never heard of.
Well, it's on there if you put it on there, which you haven't.
Woohoo! So somebody's slacking. And if you want some ammo or firearms or any of that good stuff, where can I find you?
Right here in this chair.
Where's you?
FU, California.
Firearms Unlimited.
By Home Depot in El Cajon, California, across
There you
from
go.
Parkway Mall.
Yep. There you guys go.
Sweet. Okay, I gotta return this call.
Thanks, dude. That was cool. You put these snakes away, right?
Like they're completely secure, right?